Mm, mm, mm. Your guides are beautifully all talking at once. And so I'm just going to ask them to please take turns or speak in English. Hmm. It's interesting. Okay. I'm being invited to do something a bit different today, which is you can either chat, um, I'm going to ask you a question, and you can either put it in chat, you can private message chat me, you can unmute yourself, or you can publicly chat. But there is a couple of you who are facing some challenges, and you're seeking and searching for answers. And I'm just being asked to ask you what they are. And it can be in anything in personal or life. It doesn't personal life, personal or business. It doesn't have to be any business. So I'm just being asked to ask first before I say or do anything. Anybody want to step out of their comfort zone and share? No? Somebody. I could start calling names.
I'll share.
Okay, thanks, Emily.
So for me, I guess the first thing that came into my mind is that I'm going to be 52 in a month. And what do I want to be when I grow up?
I love that.
um, do I love being an entrepreneur? Sure. Am I an entrepreneur? I guess I am. I mean, in all intents and purposes of the word, yes, I am. But um, my business is plateaued for right now, and that's okay. I'm working on changing that, but I think of course, when I'm plateaued, my brain, I'm an overthinker, and so I start thinking about, is this really what I want to be doing? Yes, being my own boss and being an entrepreneur is absolutely what I want to be doing. I was in the 9 to 5 for a very long time, and I do not want to go back to that. But saying all of that, then I submitted my resume to somebody yesterday, just for the hell of it.
Yeah.
And so yeah, so it's like I don't know. I don't know how to put that into words.
Yeah.
I guess I keep having I posted something on my Instagram last week, I guess, about the this the image was not of me. It was a like my little pink box image with the words "I am meant for more." And I used that saying towards talking to my ideal clients,
Mhm.
but I was definitely talking from myself. I just wasn't, letting them know that it was about me.
Yeah.
And because I think we're all meant for more. If you haven't gotten to that more, does that make sense?
Yes.
Um, so yeah, so that's where I am. I'm just trying to
Yeah.
figure out what I'm supposed to be doing.
Yeah. Who else can relate to that, right? Yeah, there's Sarah says agree, right? Karen says yes. Sherry says love that. Okay. Okay. I love that. Thank you. Okay.
You're welcome.
All of your guides are going, everyone's guides are like, yeah. Yeah, let's talk about this. Let's talk about this. So interestingly enough, I also believe that we're meant for more. And um I'll put this in words. If we looked at, even if we didn't have human design, let's say, to guide us to our purpose, we can be guided into our purpose if we follow our desires. right? So a desire would be like those innermost secrets of, if I could have or be or do anything in the world, what would that look like? And I think the biggest challenge that we're faced as entrepreneurs is the outside pressure of how do you monetize that? Oh, great idea. How do you monetize that? Right. And so this outside pressure of the creating the revenue. And so part of the maybe the contemplation is um and we talked about this, it might even be actually been yesterday. It's so funny that you say this, is if you had like, say you won $244 million today, and you did everything you wanted to do, like all the people, like everything, like just, and you knew that you never had to worry about money again, your family never had to worry about money again, would you still do the same thing that you're doing? Or would you actually do something with your time that's different? Because then you're not having to worry about monetizing it, right? And so some of the time, yeah, I think probably even leading it towards more often than not, it's people wouldn't necessarily be doing what they're actually doing to make, air quoting this, right, make money, right? And it was one of my and I was asked this question at the end of my curves career, and I loved owning curves. Like I really, even in the darkest parts, what I loved about it was the transformation that happened with women. And at that time, what I didn't love about it was staff, because I'm at that time use the words, I'm not a great manager of people, or leader of people. I wouldn't use that term now, but certainly that's what that was my biggest struggle. But I did realize that I wanted to be in some sort of opportunity where there was transformation that happened with women. Like I was clear about that, and that I loved business. And what I really wanted was, I wanted women to love business as much as I love business. And so I went into this, what could I do to share my passion for business? And so everything I've done since 2010 has been around my passion for business, and to share the simplicity of it, and it's complex. There is like a lot of moving pieces to it. And so the first question maybe to ask, for all of you to ask, is in this, would you be doing the same thing that you're doing, or are you doing what you're doing because you're not sure how to monetize what you actually want to be doing? Because what I found is that when we make the decision of what it is that we really want, the ways and means will unfold, because that's actually our purpose, right? And so, our higher divine self, God, doesn't give us a desire unless there's a way to fulfill it, even if we can't see how to monetize it. And I had this experience. I had a coach last year who I started to, I'm an outside processor. So what that means is I need to talk out loud all of my ideas. And when I hear the vibration of my voice, then I can discern if it's a good idea or not. So I was talking out this idea about the Sacred Art of Business Academy. And I created my coach to be totally like projecting and telling me that this would never happen. No one was ever going to join. And to create an automated business. And she would just, I felt like she totally shot down everything that I said, because she couldn't see it. And so I was guided, and this is why I'm sharing this with everybody. I was guided to not work with her, and I loved her, and right, but not work with her after that, because and there was a few reasons, but the biggest reason was that she what I saw was that she was not able to coach me. She was projecting her own agenda, and often coaches do that. Like, it's one of the biggest challenges you can have as a coach, is to take your own experience and project your experience onto somebody else. And so I think as a coach, it's to work diligently on, that's just my own personal experience, that doesn't have to be the experience. And so if you, as a coach, if I couldn't see how to monetize something, the worst thing I could do is say, well, how are you going to monetize that? That's the wrong question, my opinion, right? The question really is, let's talk about what that looks like in your life. What does it feel like? What does it look like? Who are you surrounded by? Because the how to monetize it, the energy is neither created nor destroyed. Everything is a formless substance, and then through our thinking, through the speaking, it can be created from non-form to form. So like the idea of the locomotive, right, the steam engine, was in formless substance before it became form. The concept of a computer was in formless substance before form. The concept of the iPhone was in, right, the automobile, the chat GPT, the desks, microphones, I mean, whatever. And so once you make the decision of what that could look like for you, then the ways and means for that to happen. And so you don't have to answer this if you don't want to, Emily, but the question that I'm being asked to ask you to reflect upon is, would you still be doing what you're doing? And I have a sense, no.
If I won $244 million, no, I would not be doing what I'm doing.
Right?
I already know the answer. No.
Yeah.
Would you like to know what I would be doing?
I would love, well, if you're willing to share, I'd love to know. Right.
So what I would be doing, so if I won $244 million and I, of course, did all the things like you
Right.
said, travel, help my family, set my kids up, whatever. Because it's funny that you asked that, because not that long ago, Scott and I were talking about, I don't know, it was like when one of the lotteries were like some stupid $1 billion amount of money, and I'm like, would you want to move out of our house that we built 3 years ago? And he's like, no. I said, me either. I wouldn't want a bigger house. I love our house. It's like my sanctuary. But anyway, so what would I be doing? I would, because this is my goal, like even with having my business right now, I want to volunteer at memory care facilities.
Right.
I love old people. I do. And it's because of the relationship that I had with my grandparents and my great grandmother. And because of that, and my grandmother suffered with Alzheimer's, and that's what she eventually died from. But that's what I would do.
Yeah.
Because you can learn so much
Right.
from them. And to be able to sit there specifically with people who have memory care issues and just read to them and just hold their hand and, just let them know. I don't know. And again, I just use that all from the experience that I had with my own grandmother, because that's what we did with her.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, that's what I would do. I would volunteer my time,
Right.
because not only would I be giving love to them, but it would be giving back that to me as well.
Right. I love that. I love that.
That's what
And
I would do.
yeah, and the only thing your guys are saying is remove the word volunteer.
And change it with what?
And change it with, this is what I would do. My passion and purpose is to work with.
Yeah,
right? Because
that is.
Right, because volunteer means, it intrinsically means you're doing it for the sheer pleasure, which is great. It's philanthropic, but there's no, I'm going to go into business mode, no return on investment. You're not getting paid, right? And so they're saying, if you remove the word volunteer, and you would create a life that's what you would do, the ways and means for you to do that life will unfold. Now, it might not be a business model around what you're saying, but a passion, something that you're so passionate about, the ways and means to have that, create that will happen. And if you're meant to be monetizing something different, you'll be guided to monetize something different so that you can do the thing that you would do with the money, right? And so that's the only message I heard was ask her to remove the word volunteer, right? And then just do that, because I mean, I'm sure I'm not the only one who saw your face just light up, like, right? Because you're like, that's what I would do. I would totally do that. And wouldn't that be cool? And I'm sure there are a lot of other people out there that would love to do that with you, right? And so what could that be? What would that look like? And again, what can happen with us is we're so used to having people ask us, like, well, how can you create a business from that? That's not right. And your guides are saying, to all of you, your guides are saying, don't worry about the cash flow. Don't worry about the revenue. The revenue, you'll be guided to do what you need to do to get paid to build the life that you want. And it might be in that area. Or it might be not in that area, something that you weren't expecting at all, but you've let go of the need to monetize anything, if that makes any sense. Yeah. So yeah, focus on, I'm getting that, focus on that. Like every morning think, oh man, you know what? Like this could be the day that I would be going down and doing my thing, right? And so if we're volunteering, so what came to me is, yeah, you've like volunteering. So I'd be like, yeah, I'd have an office space that I would go to, or there would be an office space to go to. There would be some sort of structure, some sort of organization. I mean, who knows? Maybe you're meant to create the organization or structure around it. Because I know that you organize things quite well, right?
Just a bit.
Right? So what could that look like, right? Are you organizing? Yeah, right. Whatever that is. But the ways and means will unfold for sure. That I do know 100%. Right. We'll focus on this is what this is my passion.
So should I go buy a lottery ticket? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, if you feel compelled to buy a lottery ticket, 100%, 100%, right? And so, and you can ask your, higher power, guides, universe, or just, so if we just go into science, we can ask our brains, okay, this is actually what I want to do. Every day I want to be doing this, and I'm not really sure how to make that happen from a business perspective. So show me how to do that, or something else that can guide me to living my life, so that every day I feel like I'm on fire, living on purpose, in purpose, with purpose, so that I can do this thing. Or show me the way to do this thing full time and get paid, right? Like, and that's what I did. I was like, I want to take all of my superpowers, right? I want to take my superpower for promoting others and connecting others, for teaching and educating, channeling, right, coaching, and I want it in one business, right? And over again, people for years have told me that's not possible, and I'm like, it is possible, because this has been a burning desire for many years. And so once I let go of people around me who said, well, that's like, no, you can't monetize that, and I was like, I need support, not people who say, or people who, how are you going to monetize it? I don't know. Well, then it's not really a business. Well, it could be a business, right? So, I mean, I had the, gumption, I think rebellion enough to like, la 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 la. That's kind of what happened with me. La 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 la, right? Doing one of those as people were talking, not physically doing that, but in my head going, I'm not listening to you. It's okay. You don't need to know. And that's kind of where I ended up being, whereas over and over again thinking that other people don't need to know how to make this business, because they're not going to be making it a business. And I didn't make it a business, right? My higher power was like, this is what it's going to look like. And then I started talking about it, and people would say, what's it called? I'm like, I don't know. It had no name. And then one day it's like, well, it's just like an art, like business can be an art, and I want it to be sacred. And I was like, ooh, the sacred art of business, right? And then trying to explain the community part, and I'm like, I don't know, just you should join. I just give this to be. You should. It's going to be cool. I don't know what we're going to be called, but you should join, right? And now it's coming to fruition, right? So even with it having no name or having partial name, and I think yours will be the same. Thank you so much for sharing, because I know you're not alone in that. So that's why there's all this chatter. So anyone else can relate to that or have another question or comment on that? There's lots of questions in the right. Karen said that gives me shivers, right? Sherry said, I love this so much. Right. Anybody else want to share? Another brave soul? Challenges? Anyone? You're quiet today. Hang on, there's one more thing, one more message for all of you. So the message is, how do I say this? If you keep on thinking about how you're going to make money, you're missing the boat. That's what I keep on hearing. You're missing the boat. If you keep on thinking about how you're going to make money, you're missing the boat. So they're not dismissing the importance of cash. Always remember that, right? Your guides never dismiss the importance of cash because they understand that we live on a planet that requires the exchange of cash. The reminder, though, is that cash is an energy, and energy is not created. It just is. It's not created nor destroyed. It just is. And so if we go back to we don't make money, right? Money is there. And we don't earn money from the exchange of time, like time exchange, like client exchange, time exchange. That's an illusion. And it's such a great storyline, such a great illusion that we've really bought into it. And so, and that we don't have to do anything to attract money, because money is like, it's an energy. It's already there. It's kind of like asking the sun, the sun just is the sun, right? It's bright, shiny. It's always bright. It's always shiny. It's always emanating heat, even if there's clouds over our sky, right? The sun just is. The tree just is. The flower just is. The bee just is. They don't have to like talk themselves into being something different or talk themselves out of like their natural state of being. And they don't worry about where's the honey, right? They don't worry about where's the next flower to make the honey. The trees don't worry about getting too big or being too small or overshadowing another tree. When the sun doesn't worry about how bright and shiny it is. And so your guides are just saying to just be in your natural state, just be. And your next step, the ways and means for you to create and manifest the life that you want, including the cash that you want, is there. And the biggest obstacle you're facing is the worrying about the how, right? That's one. And the other one is you're worried. Some of you are worried about wanting too much, like having your dreams and your visions and your desire, even your desire for cash flow, like your desire for money, wanting too much. And then there's a little little bit of guilt or shame. And so if you can accept that, there is an abundance of cash out there, right? There's an abundance of opportunity, and that you're not taking something away from somebody else, right? Your ability, right? No, not ability. Your desire for that big of a life does not make you shallow. So I'm not sure who's feeling that, but that's the word I'm getting. Your desire for that big of a life does not make you shallow or materialistic, that it's okay. It's okay to desire things. And in fact, you're meant to. So if you have a desire, then you're meant to make manifest that desire, including all the fun toys and tools, right? Like if that's what you're desiring. So to not hold back. So some of you are holding back. There's a bit of fear. There is a little bit of doubt. And one more thing. So some of you are feeling like when you create this. So actually, I'm using the word when, this person's using the word if. Some of you are doubting when you create this, you will be alone. Like the people that you have in your life right now will leave. And there's fear about that. And what I'm being guided to share with you is that there might be a drop off of some people, but new people will emerge in your life to support you. Right. And so to not be afraid of being alone. And and then you actually can't be alone any longer. There's too much support out there for you now. That you're surrounded by too many like-minded individuals now for that to happen. Right. And so that you won't be alone. And okay, one more. I was in a call with a friend of mine last night, who they build the technology. I can't tell you what the technology does. Yeah. If this resonates with you, message me. I'll share their link with you. But anyhow, they build technology to help with global transformation. So with the frequencies, right, out there, and not the Healy frequencies that people are talking about right now, but something even deeper and more profound than that. And she was saying that they were told by they call it their team, that the world has awakened and not up-leveled, that's not the word, awakened at a much faster pace this last 2 years than what was anticipated by our guides. And so there's a lot of things being shaken up because of it, right? And so not to worry about feeling unstable, feeling the chaos, feeling chaotic, and feeling the destruction. That those are really great things, because of course, I think most of you may know this, but before you can reconstruct or before transformation happens, a deconstruction has to happen. And so we're in the midst of something, but we're moving very quickly. And so part of the fear you might be having is that something that you thought was really grounded and really stable no longer feels grounded and stable. And it will be reflective in our outer world as well as our inner world, right? So a great example could just be like the two banks like closing in the States, right? And things like that, or the political realm that we have either here in Canada or in the States, right? That there's this massive shakeups going to be happening this year, and to know that that's it's all good. And so if you're having those massive shakeups in your world, it's all good, right? It's all that. Just keep going and just tell them it's good, right? It's you're safe and you're secure, and you're and everyone's on the right track, right? All right. Anybody else need to hear anything else? Does that feel complete for everyone? And if you don't feel complete, you can private message me on there. I've got my phone on here too, but it feels like that's your guides have shared everything that they wanted to today. I'm just pausing. Hang on. Thanks for your patience, everybody. No, okay. From my end, we're good. Thanks, Emily, for sharing. I appreciate that. That was awesome. Bye, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow. Love you. Karen, I just read your 15,000. Yes. Yes. Thank you. Right? And you're like, what? Yeah, I hear you. That's awesome. Thank you.